There once lived a boy who was terrified of failure. Not because he was weak, not because he lacked talent, but because he believed that making a mistake meant he was not good enough. So he avoided trying. He avoided risk. He avoided anything that could expose his imperfections. And slowly, without realizing it, fear began to shape his entire life. The boy's life. The boy lived in a quiet village surrounded by mountains. Every morning he watched other children run through the fields. They climbed trees. They raced across rivers. They tried new things without hesitation. But he stayed behind. He always told himself the same thing. What if I fail? What if I fall from the tree? What if I lose the race? What if people laugh at me? These questions echoed in his mind like shadows. So he chose safety. He chose comfort. He chose silence. The hidden cost of fear. At first, avoiding failure seemed like a smart decision. If you never try, you never fail. If you never compete, you never lose. But there was something the boy did not understand. By avoiding failure, he was also avoiding growth. Years passed. The other children became stronger, braver, more confident. They learned from their mistakes. But the boy remained exactly the same, not because he lacked ability, but because he never allowed himself the chance to discover it. The encounter. One evening, as the sun was setting behind the mountains, the boy sat alone near the river. He watched the water flow endlessly. That was when an old man approached him. The old man had kind eyes and slow footsteps. He sat beside the boy without saying a word. After a long silence, the old man asked a simple question. Why do you look so troubled? The boy hesitated. Then he finally spoke. I am afraid of failing. The old man nodded slowly, as if he had heard these words many times before. The old man's lesson. The old man picked up a small stone and dropped it into the river. Ripples spread across the water. Do you see that? He asked. The boy nodded. Failure is like that stone, the old man said. It may disturb the water for a moment, but the river continues to flow. The boy looked at the river again. The ripples had already disappeared. But people will laugh at me, the boy replied. The old man smiled. People laugh at those who try, and they forget those who never try at all. The old man continued. Every person you admire has failed many times. The strongest warriors were once weak. The wisest teachers were once confused. The greatest builders made many mistakes. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is the path to it. The boy had never heard anyone say that before. For the first time, he wondered if his fear had been lying to him. The next morning, the boy woke up with a new thought. What if I try just once? He walked toward the tallest tree in the village. The same tree he had avoided for years. His hands trembled. His heart raced. Every step upward felt uncertain. Halfway up the tree, he slipped and fell. The ground hit him hard. Children nearby burst into laughter. Exactly what he feared. For a moment, the boy felt the old fear returning. But then he remembered the river, the ripples, the old man's words. Failure is only temporary. The turning point. So the boy stood up. He dusted off his clothes, and he climbed again. This time he reached the first branch, then the second, then the top. For the first time in his life, he looked across the entire village from above. The wind brushed across his face, and something inside him changed. Not because he succeeded, but because he realized he could survive failure. From that day forward, the boy began trying new things. Sometimes he succeeded. Sometimes he failed. But each failure taught him something new. He learned how to climb higher, how to run faster, how to solve problems he once avoided. Slowly, confidence replaced fear. And the boy discovered something powerful. Failure was never his enemy. Fear was. Years later, the boy became a respected teacher in the village. Students often came to him with the same fear he once carried. "What if I fail?" And he would smile. Then he would tell them the story of the river. He would say, "Failure is not a wall. It is a doorway. Every mistake is a lesson. Every fall is a chance to rise stronger. And the only true failure is refusing to try." If you are afraid of failing, remember this. Every great journey begins with uncertainty. Every successful person once stood exactly where you stand now. Afraid, doubting, unsure. But the difference between those who grow and those who remain stuck is simple. One group allows fear to control their choices. The other chooses to move forward anyway. So the next time fear whispers in your mind, take the step, try the challenge, climb the tree, because failure will not destroy you, but the fear of failure might. And once you understand that truth, you will realize something incredible. The life you want has always been waiting on the other side of trying.